So 2024 has been a year where many lames have found out that their mouth may get them into situations that their actual life cannot handle. And one great example of this is Andrew Cameron Schulz, this little guy here, invoking a lot of violent talk, seems to be a scumbag of a person, and is now crying about fans taking things too far, and is crying like the little girls that maybe he used to like to date. Let's get into it. All right. If you're not knowing, if you don't know, the partner of Charlamagne from the Breakfast Club, Andy Schulz, recently was referred to, or at least the people around him were referred to, in Kendrick Lamar's Whacked Out Murals, right? I'll discuss the lyrics of that in the bar breakdown where Kendrick says, "Don't let no white comedian talk about black women, that's law," right? I even had a long back and forth with a white belt level ninja in my comments who was trying to defend Mr. Schulz. And understand when I say that term, it has nothing to do with race, all right? It has to do with a certain mindset of weak-minded, lame, wanna-be cool individuals who take things too far and who talk a lot on the internet, but when people bring the energy back to them, they cry like a Karen. Shout out to Drake, aka Paperwork Poppy. But we're gonna first get into how this all started with Andrew Schulz calling himself responding to something that was referring to what he did, but not referring to him directly. And like the untalented nerd that he is, he went for the clout chase. Check out this clip right quick.
But I know with Kendrick that he's talking a lot of shit, but if it came down to it, I could put him on my lap, I could feed him a bottle, or I could put him on my lap, I could feed him a bottle, and make love to him if I wanted to, and there's nothing he could do about it. I might not be hard, might just slap soft against his butt.
But you can just beat him up. You don't fuck him, right?
No. We're not doing acts of physical violence over here, bro. We're okay.
So Andy talks about how much more of a tough guy and fighter he is than Kendrick Lamar, and alludes to maybe sodomizing him. I'm not sure if that's what that was supposed to be. Yeah, very interesting talk. Very indicative of where one's mindset is. Me having a difference with someone, that's the last thing I would think about, is some of the things that he mentioned in that, unless you live that kind of lifestyle and you like men, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just come on out the closet and let everybody know that's what you like. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into who Andy Schulz is. So as you see on the post here, there was allegations of abuse that emerged from Andy Schulz by his ex-girlfriend, Miss Sarah Phillips. Now, Sarah made these claims back in 2020. They started dating in 2011. Sarah was 16 at the time. Andy was 28. And they broke up in 2015. Now, these are the details of the relationship provided by Sarah and others, I believe. But here, she posted on IG about the abuse she suffered from Andy. And this is her allegation towards him. She says, "For years, I was manipulated, controlled, and abused by him." That's Andy. "The verbal abuse was constant, and I was isolated from my friends. If I wore makeup that he thought was too much, he'd wipe it off my face in public. He'd force me to change before leaving the house if he thought my outfit would get too much attention. Once, after being sick for weeks without explanation, I found out he had been using my toothbrush to clean the bottom of his shoes. To this day, I can't make sense of that kind of sickness." Now, this is tough Andy we talking about here. On another occasion, on vacation in Aruba, his anger got so out of control that I had to hide from him in the hotel bathroom with the door locked. Soon after, I began having panic attacks almost every night. There are other things that happened during this relationship that I will probably never talk about for the rest of my life. Now, she continues, "As happy and healthy as I feel in my very fortunate life now, seeing this person's face, hearing their voice, seeing their name is still very triggering. Maybe it always will be, I don't know. But I just ask you to please try to understand that it's not a funny joke to keep sending me things related to this person. Please stop. Please try to understand. Thank you." So she's talking to his fans and his fan base about sending her things about Andy and other people maybe that they knew, all those things. Now, keep in mind, this young lady was 16 when they started dating and 20 when they ended the relationship. So he's doing this to a very young girl. Sounds familiar to the other white belt level ninjas. Shout out academics. Why do you all have these weirdo allegations like Baca, who's still around, against young females? We're going to get into that when I do the white belt level ninja awards and I talk about the archetype of Drake and Obi Ho Nation and their cronies. And there's a lot of them on the internet. We're going to get into it when we get into that video. But to continue about Andy. So Andy receives the energy back that he put out from Kendrick Lamar's fan base. And Tough Andy, who alludes to making another grown man make love to him, I guess is what he was trying to say, against that grown man's will, because Andy is such a tough fighter. You know, he hangs out with Joe Rogan and people like that. I guess he takes the little MMA classes, and sometimes nerds, when they take fighting classes, they think that practice in a gym, in a safe gym with somebody they're paying to make them feel bold, is like a real fight, because they've never been in any kind of real issues. And it don't quite go like it does in the gym or on the street, but I digress. We don't promote violence here. But this is Andy's reaction to some of Kendrick's fans just responding and returning some of the energy that Andy put out there. Let's take a listen.
Don't be surprised if he goes crazy. Listen, some of the Kendrick stans have been posting shit like telling me they're gonna take out my family on like pictures of my child, my daughter. God. You surprised? But this is the nature of the game.
Yeah, social media.
Yeah, social media. It's like, but he says that line. He says that line. His parent, his friend, some of his fans. The majority of his fans don't do anything. The majority of his fans are just like, they like hip hop. They think he's a great musician. But the most extreme ones, on a picture of my 8-month baby, are going, "You better take security everywhere because I'm coming for your whole family." And this is like multiple. Crazy. So to me, that person, I don't blame Kendrick. We can't control what our fans do. But that person, I go, "You talking about my kid, man? Like, I have to screenshot you, know who you are, and if I ever see you,
you can't play with it. Yeah, you can't play with it. No, I'm with you. 100%. That's why I don't feel no remorse.
I feel no remorse. Like, yo, you talking about someone's child,
you should have learned from Pusha T. He did the same thing to Pusha T. You want to mention people's fiance, and Kendrick took his belt off and whipped your ass the way he gonna whip Schultz ass. If he did that to a half a white man, imagine what he would do to a full one. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Say whatever you want about me.
So he and his partner Charlamagne, right, who I think Kendrick's bar was actually aimed at, right, from Whacked Out Murals. They got all the bases out of their voice now, right? Especially Andy. He sounded like he was in distress a little bit about the fans threatening him. Well, if you send out threats, sir, you can't really control the threats that you may get back, especially when you're threatening a person that is as loved, respected, and appreciated as Kendrick Lamar is. Like, we protect ours. So you making idle threats, how do you think that's really gonna go? See, that's you guys are not of this culture, and that's why you should be quiet. Because now when the culture responds, how the culture responds to threats of physicality, whether you think it was a joke or not. Okay, let's joke. Let's joke about you not being safe anymore. That's funny. Ha ha, that's hilarious, right? Because it was hilarious with what you said about Kendrick, right? Saying things that we really don't play about as men, as grown men. Now, all of a sudden, it's, oh my God, where is the manager? They're talking about my children. Just like Drake did. You guys don't want to be like Drake, do you? See, the bait and switch is not going to work in this situation, bro. I'm just telling you that right now. It's not going to work. You're not going to jump on this side now because you said too much. Like Joe, shout out to Joe Budden. You got too much dip on your chip, bro. So this is where the energy is now for you. And you should have just not clout chase that opportunity. Kendrick was not even talking to you. He was speaking to people who should know better, who pretend like they know better, who was sitting right next to you during that clip, and others who allowed you to speak out of turn about Black women. Okay? You're speaking out of turn, and understand sometimes when you speak out of turn, people close your mouth for you. They don't wait for you to do it, right? And then when you want to take it a little further, as Kendrick Lamar said, You take it there, I'm taking it further. Shh, that's something you don't want to do. Ooh, all of y'all are learning. All you white belt level ninjas are learning, okay? Just because Kendrick can be introspective and speak with intelligence and those kind of things, there's many of us who do that. Nobody wants to be and fit into a stereotype of somebody from the hood, and that's a part of hip hop culture, okay? But you can find out that us trying to be nice, trying to be civil, trying to change, trying to be intelligent, trying to lift up our communities, that can go away. And a reversion can happen to the behavior that you had to exhibit to survive growing up in rough areas. And see, that's what Drake found out. And that was just in a rap battle, which is good. That's a great way to find out where there is no physicality, no violence or anything like that. Okay, don't try to separate yourself from Drake. Now you behave very similarly to him, very, very much like Drake. So don't try to act like, oh, we're against Drake because you don't bring people's family into it. Nah. You don't get to set the rules of engagement. And y'all, you should know that. Don't threaten people. What are you threatening people for? And then tell me it's a joke. Well, they joking with you too. Now let's all joke. Why can't you just laugh it off, right? So all of the wuss came out of Andy Schulz during this situation. That was quick. That was a quick turnaround to victimhood. That was quicker than Drake, actually. Drake at least stood his ground for quite a while there before he started suing and all of this kind of stuff. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, man. I'm done talking about this little weak dude. Obviously, this is who he always was. But again, you know, social media, internet, all of that makes people really tough for no reason. I don't even understand it. It's just a communication platform. But y'all nerds, y'all lames, y'all really be pushing the wrong buttons, man. Bottom line, let me know what y'all think in the comments below. If you're not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit that like button for sure. Share the video, tell a friend and tell a friend. Thank y'all for watching as always. We out.